You are watching ILFL Soccer Nights.
Sponsored by Hawk and Eagle.
Welcome back to part 3 of ILFL Soccer Night, the show sponsored by Hawk and Eagle, and right now it's the Shanali Otis Veterans League that we're going to be talking about in this section. The whole section now passes over to Nanumir, our stats man, our vets man, to talk about everything that happened with the Vets League, and it was all about the cup last Thursday, wasn't it, Nanu?
It was, absolutely. We had the quarter-finals and the semi-finals last week. I'll start with the quarter-finals. Abahoni and Tower Hamlets ended with a penalty. It was surprising for a few people because everybody thought that Tower Hamlets was going to walk through.
Abahani, I stood up for you last week and I said that last week you're going to do very, very well. Carry on, Nanu.
But luckily for Abahoni, they managed to hold on long enough for the game to end as penalties, and that's how they won it. So
well done.
It was surprising, and that's what exactly happened. With Bowman and Sire, that result surprised a few people, mainly Rashid. I did say Sire is one of those teams that can surprise anyone. Not sure exactly how Sire got this one goal. Maybe Rashid can explain a little bit more.
Maybe they just
exactly
like playing Beaumont.
Maybe they do, or maybe Beaumont felt that the ball didn't have enough pressure, or the pitch was a little bit wonky or too slippery for Beaumont. But anyway, moving on swiftly. Luton and Barnardos, that was a really tough game. For most of the game it was 1-1 until Luton scored an absolute cracker. Meaning, you know, you have to be a really, really good player, absolutely outstanding to score a goal like that in the Veterans League, definitely.
Can I just ask about Barnardos? I mean, they started really poorly, couldn't win a game. That they were never ever going to win the league and hold on to their championship crown. But recently they've been, you know, looking a lot better. Their results would suggest.
They look more determined.
Yeah.
And they do play a little bit more aggressive, so they're showing a lot more energy these days than they did early on in the season. They probably thought we won it last season, we were the Invincibles, this season we're going to do it.
On paper, they're a good side. They still
absolutely,
have, on paper,
absolutely.
they still got the same players. They made a few additions, and they're a good side. It's just other teams have improved. I think that's the surprising element for
But now Barnardos have caught up just a touch more
because
now.
they've got the same team. They have got talented players. They have got this, on paper, still a good team. But the other teams, they've improved and made addition, and I think that's what's caught them by surprise.
And I know I shouldn't be mentioning this, but I think luck wasn't on their side as well, because it was a last-minute goal from Luton as well. And unfortunately, it was a really good one.
And to all accounts, Luton are a very good team on their day.
Yeah,
they're
very good.
Football. Yeah, so
I mean, they've got one or two players
there.
that can change the game instantly, so which is what made the difference. With Shadwell and Tigers, Shadwell came on, you know, they hold on to a 1-1 for most part of the game. They're a really decent side, Shadwell, as we know, and Tigers did have a really tough time. But unfortunately for Shadwell, Sufyan received a really good pass, and he did a quick trademark turn and a pinpoint strike secured a Tigers win, and that's how Shadwell came to lose the game. It was a bit frustrating for Shadwell because they did so well against Tigers. It was just that last-minute goal that kicked them out of the quarter-finals.
And then we went on to the semi-finals.
Absolutely. In the semi-finals, we had Abahoni and Tigers. Abahoni, I know, without a good team, but we all know that what Tigers can do as well. The problem with Abahoni is that they like to lash out in the first 10 minutes and get those early 1 or 2 goals, and then they held back and then they defend for most part of the game. But when they were playing against Tigers, they did the same thing, but they couldn't score. And they ran out of steam. I mean, they looked really tired, and Tigers took advantage of that, and they controlled the game, scored 2 goals, and they won it. It was a clean win for them. So
to the finals, Tigers, everybody pretty much expected that. Anyway.
Everybody pretty much, yeah. I mean, you could see. Abahoni, I think they wasted too much energy with Tower Hamlets in the quarterfinals, and I don't think they had enough subs. If they did, probably the outcome probably would have been slightly different than what it was.
And the other semi-final?
Sire and Luton.
Surprising result.
That was a really surprising result. It was 4-0 to Sire, but it should have been 7 or 8-0. Trust me, it was like that. Sire had so many chances, so many one-to-ones. They just couldn't finish. But it was quite amazing that they scored 4 goals, but it should have been 8 or 9. All because they had a really good defender, Runner. Luton were just attacking, and Runner was defending. And as soon as Runner got the ball, Sire were attacking on the counter, and this is how they got the 4 goals. that's how we ended.
I think one thing we have to mention with Saya, they're a very hard-working team. They may not have special talented players, but in terms of as a team, the work rate, I have to give 10 out of 10. They work really hard, and as a team, I think that's one of their biggest asset, is the work rate they put in as a team, and I think that's why in the recent weeks they've been getting some good results.
Yeah, we need to find out what Akram feeds his team players, definitely, because they had so much energy. It was just unbelievable. I mean, the two of the people that I think that were outstanding in these finals, one runner from Saya and Sufyan from London Tigers. Those two were like really outstanding and made all the difference. And those
so
two
now we
teams,
get to the final. Saya versus London Tigers. So if Saya can maintain that energy, that enthusiasm, that desire, and a little bit of belief now that they want, because their league form hasn't been great in the Vets League. So this is all or nothing for them, this final.
Absolutely. Really. I know if I say Saya will win that league, the cup, then people are just going to throw things at me. But I will go ahead and say that Saya probably would win that if they play like the way they did last week.
They have nothing to lose.
They've got a chance. With
a
cup, you never know. It's a chance, and you know, I think once you play against bigger teams, the motivation's there, the drive's there, the passion's there, the incentive's there. And Tigers may feel, wait a minute, they're not all that, and if they take the foot off the gas, they might get the element of surprise. So it's a possibility, and I think Saya, should give 150%. I think 100% should be. It's not going to be enough.
Absolutely.
I mean, Tigers will be definitely under pressure against Saya.
Yeah,
and Saya, if they become runner-up, they're not under pressure at all. And I think
they've got nothing to lose.
They've got nothing to lose, basically. Yeah.
And Tigers have the opportunity to win their first trophy of the season. Tanjim, let me ask you. I know you're a little way off playing in the Vets League, but are you looking forward to moving on to that level of football?
I think I've watched a few games myself, and I think it's more competitive than the Sunday League. I think there's been a few more incidents as well from what I've seen, and it's just as competitive, if not more, than Sunday League football. And it's good to see as well.
The quality's still there.
The quality's still there. The hunger's still there. The passion's still there to play football, even at that age. And there are some players that are even past 40. And still playing to a really good level as well, so it's really good to see. It's really refreshing to see.
Let me ask you the $1 million stupid question. You've seen Beaumont's Vets team play. How many of that Vets team would get in the league team right now, the way the league team are playing?
There is a few. Gaff being one. Gaff has been playing for us the last few seasons. This season he hasn't played, but he can definitely still get into our team. And obviously
Hock is the Hock.
And Hock played in the summer, and obviously Rashid Bayev is our #1 player.
Do you think, to go back now to your league form, do you think, is it that experience, is it that level of experience that might be missed with Beaumont where things have slipped up, or is it something else?
I think in terms of performance, I don't think we've played that bad. I think there's 1 or 2 games we haven't played very well, but in general we have played really well. We've competed against even the top teams like Tigers. We had a narrow defeat against Tigers. I just think it's that cutting edge. I think when it counts, we're not killing teams off, or we're not hanging on to get that result, or we're not grinding out results. I think that's what we're lacking, and maybe it's the experience. But
you know why I'm asking this question, Rash? Just to change tack just slightly. We all hear in our national league, and the particular team that everybody talks about is Manchester United, and a lot of teams are talking about now, if the man that was the manager there for the last 25 years had been there, some of these games where they're losing them by a goal or two, they may have won by a goal or two. And I'm just wondering if with Beaumont, is that something that's lacking this season, or is it the same group of players that you had last season?
It's the same, and there's additional players, but I've seen a lot of the games when they played in Hackney Marshes. It's those last 10-15 minutes we've made crucial errors, and we lost winning games or drawn. I think a lot of the draws, we had about 6 draws in a row, and other teams have capitalised the last 5-10 minutes where we don't see off games. I think overall performance, I said it in and out every week, we're performing well, we're playing good football, we're just not finishing off teams or closing the door at the back in the last 5-10 minutes. I think that's the problem itself. But as a team, I think we're playing good football. And even the game on Sunday, Bromley had one of the strongest side I've seen for years. And new faces, new recruits, and on paper, and on the first half, they look very dominant. So Beaumont had to be special and extra good to beat them on yesterday's game, and they did that because they had a belief, and they're playing good football. It's just a matter of finishing off teams. And this time, we did the reverse. We came back in the last 2 minutes and scored the winning goal and saw off Bromley. And I think that they need to carry off in the league. In the last 10 minutes is the crunch time for Beaumont itself.
I think that could be the turning point for us. I think that result. Obviously being 2-1 down with 10 minutes to go and coming back and winning 3-2, that could spark that belief in our players, and and hopefully carry down the rest of the season.
I don't want to get away from the Veterans League. No, sorry to sidetrack us just a little bit
That's
there.
fine.
But we've got fixtures to come up this Thursday. The league returns for the Vets this Thursday, and here are the games to come up this week for you now. Tower Hamlets take on Shadwell. Aberhane can take on Luton Bury Park now. Esaya Vets take on BYM. St Catherine's v Beaumont. Bromley take on Barnardos, and West End take on Tigers. With everything still quite close at the top, who needs to get a good result here this Thursday now?
I think all of the top teams need to get a good result because the landscape could change this week. I mean, you've got Shadwell with Tower Hamlets, that's the fixture. Shadwell's got a good chance to beat Tower Hamlets, it's one of the top teams. And the other one is you've got Luton versus Aberhane Vets. And Aberhane is at the top, Luton got another team that's got a good chance to do that. And I think at the end of the evening, Tigers might emerge being at the top because they've got an easy game. That's the way I look at it.
It's possible. Rush, I'm looking at the table now, as you are too at home now. Tower Hamlets are top with the 16 points. Again, it's 6 points separates the top 5. I do believe, Luton, Bury Park, they need a win. If they don't win now this week, then they can forget about finishing top.
I don't think Luton's looking at the league. I think it's the top 4. I think Shadwell versus Tower Hamlets is a massive game. Shadwell, it's a matter of win or do or die situation. They have to win. Tower Hamlets in the cup, I was quite disappointed with the way they played because they're one of the top side and they didn't perform to the level expected. So I think this coming Thursday they'll want to prove a point and say, look, we can't let the league slip away. So I think they'll come strong and it'll be a tough game against the Shadwell. And same with other fixtures. I think all the fixtures are strong except for Tigers. Because West End, as we can see, is very, very weak and struggling at the moment. But other games are very tough. It's hard to call. Sire on good form, Barnardos on good form. Luton, when I saw the first game when they beat Barnardos, they look a very good outfit. They've got new additional players and they're quite skillful players. I think in this 7 side, you need 1 or 2 skillful players to make a difference. So this Thursday will be interesting to see how the results go because I predict a lot of upsets.
This Thursday will be interesting indeed. The cup final for the Vets Cup is on the 27th of February. That'll be 1 week after the Vets League comes to a conclusion. That is all for the Vets League for this week. That is all for everything on the show. My thanks to Rashid, to Nanu, to Tanjim for coming in this evening. My thanks to you for watching as well. Football resumes as always. It's the winter months, the times when teams need to get points, whether you're at the top or at the bottom. We're all scrapping for points. So whatever your fixture is this Sunday, good luck, enjoy what you're doing, and we look forward to speaking about it again next week on ILFL Soccer Night. In the meantime, it's good night from me and all the boys in the back who brought the show to you. Good night.